Well, double M, Mike Michalak, Hodag Country 97.3, WHDG inside the video wall once again with someone who needs no introduction, but I'm going to tell you anyway because it's good to welcome back Lee Greenwood. Welcome back to Rhinelander.
And thank you very much. It's you don't just stumble on this. You got to be coming here. You know.
Exactly.
It's a long way up from Nashville, Tennessee, but I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to see live people.
What were you doing in that little time off?
That little respite.
Yes.
Well, in 2020 we had about 7 shows, and most of them were all outdoors, but they weren't crowds like this. And, you know, they're just a little 300 here, 400 there. We had one show out in Utah that was not too bad. It had several thousand, but it just wasn't the same. Everybody's really cautious, you know. Mm-hmm. Unlike 2001, the attack on America, where everybody could like hug and, you know, share our grief. In this case, in the pandemic, we couldn't even hug our family because we were afraid of giving them the COVID. So here we are now. Pandemic's over, and now we're moving on.
Exactly. You were first here in 1987. Remember any of that?
No.
Okay, I was expecting that.
No, I would. No, I have to. We've been here 3 times, I believe, and so
this is the third.
Their third time, and I think once you played this festival, there's only 2 or 3 more in the United States like this, and you go home to Nashville. I played the Hodag. The what? Mm-hmm. And what is that? And of course, in 2020 it was the Nodag, you know, and now here we are at the Hodag again. I remember meeting a lot of nice people. I remember meeting folks backstage who were in the opening acts and the crowd, and the excitement of the crowd. And it looks like it's back. I mean, I peeked out, you know, behind the curtain, saw the opening acts on. I'm like, wow, we got the crowd again. Mm-hmm. It's great.
What's it like being pretty much known as Mr. 4th of July?
There's a saying around Nashville that if Lee Greenwood doesn't sing God Bless the USA, you might as well take the flag down.
Right.
Well, last year I didn't sing it. We were not working on the 4th of July.
You're giving me chills.
So I was like, oh, please, you know, let us go back. Let me do something. You know, I think I sang for my neighbors, but it was just like, this has got to end. And I think a lot of people are fearful of the fact now with the new Delta variant moving around that it may not be over, but I believe it is. And I think people just have to do what we always should have done from the beginning, and that's use common sense and hygiene, you know. Mm-hmm. Not that we can't get close to each other again, because I'm raised on a farm and I ate dirt, so it's like, you know, maybe that's what made my immune system so strong.
Exactly.
You know, being raised on a farm.
Now that song, now that you've broken that one, has had so many machinations over the years and keeps coming back. I don't know of another song in either popular or country music that's had that. You have a wonderful version out with members of the service. You have a wonderful version out with the guys that were here last night in Home Free. How do you keep that going?
You know, USA's had an interesting ride because from the very beginning it wasn't written as a hit. It was written as a tribute to my country, and it was on the album called You Got a Good Love Coming, which is I think our 4th album out, and it was Universal that made the choice for the single, or nobody I don't think would ever heard it. And it gratified me to know that later on, as it began to get strength and the public started grasping it as the new American song, that it did some good, and I know it did. And then, of course, after the Gulf War, Katrina, the attack on America, we just we're curious of what's next. You know, I mean, I've sang it for 10 different presidents, and I've been all over the military, all over the world with the military for 30 USO tours, and I don't exactly know what's coming next. I don't know how long I'm going to tour. Mm-hmm. I'll be 80 next year, so I'm like considering maybe just stopping the road. So we'll have to see what the demand is, what USA does next, and if it forces me or continues my career as a touring artist.
Excellent. And it brings me to our final thing here. We have the AMVETS Post 724 here. They have a wonderful rehab facility in northern Wisconsin for a lot of guys. They have a wonderful event coming up this summer. It's a Vets and Guides event based out of just north of here. These guys are on the water with guides. They're fishing, they're relaxing, everything else, and they asked me to give you that.
Oh, absolutely.
To enjoy, and we'll salute them for all the work that they do, and we thank you for everything that you've done for the men and women overseas.
Well, thank you, and I really admire the DAV. Actually, the Disabled American Veterans are the ones that are the strongest of those who have been injured in war, either mentally or physically. And I have an awful lot of friends who are DAVs. And by the way, I looked at the map, and I know where Lake Tomahawk is. It's not too far up north here
18
from
miles.
us. Yeah, and we did pass the city of Tomahawk earlier above Oshkosh. So I'm very familiar with Wisconsin. doing. And I love the military veterans, no matter where they're from, so I'm proud to accept this hat on their behalf.
Alrighty. Everybody, get ready. Here comes Lee Greenwood.